Hello, today we're going to talk about resume writing. Just a little bit about myself. My name is Alicia Henderson Ray, and I'm a career advisor within the Career Services Department. I primarily meet one-on-one for career advising with freshmen, sophomore, and alumni populations. I also do some career curriculum presentations across campus and plan career development events throughout the semester. Our resume resources can be reached via our website or our Handshake platform, which is career development platform that is curated especially for Nevada State students. Also, feel free to schedule an appointment with us one-on-one for resume resources. Some of the resources we offer include our resume guide, various resume templates, and then we do have a resume bullet points worksheet that helps you to really develop your resume bullet points and a resume brainstorming worksheet. So let's jump right into it. Quick tip number one, perfect your grammar and formatting. So it's very important that you curate your document so that it is easy to read and digestible for the reader, which is why the best practice is to keep your resume at one page if possible. Also use 11 or 12 font size and easy to read font styles. It is also helpful to use bolding, caps, italics in different areas of your resume to make certain things stand out. And when you are listing your education experiences, you want to list them in reverse chronological order, which means listing what's most recent and working your way back in time. Also, try to be error-free as much as possible. So we recommend double and triple checking your grammar and spelling and having others to look over your document as well. And be consistent. So if you choose to use caps or bolding for your different resume sections, you want to do that throughout. Quick tip number two, catch the attention of the reader. This is very important because in any given opportunity, a hiring manager or hiring committee may have to review multiple applications. And so it's important that you catch their attention by listing your different responsibilities that you held throughout your experiences using bullet points. So you want to refrain from using paragraph form to describe your responsibilities and instead use bullet points that are no more than one sentence each and start each bullet point with a verb. Also, quantifying is a good way to catch the attention of the reader. So using things like percentages, frequencies, dollar amounts can really show impact and scale, and numbers always stand out against words across text. Also, be sure to remove everything from high school once you are a junior in college. So once you're an upperclassman, now it's all about what have you achieved in college, and your high school diploma is implied. So after 60 plus credits, go ahead and remove your high school experiences. Also, only capture within your resume different things that are within the last 8 to 10 years. Anything previous to that is no longer relevant. Quick tip number three, include professional contact header. It is very important that at the very top of your resume, you are listing your name, your physical address, your email address, and phone number. Now, as it pertains to your physical address, it's no longer really needed for you to list your entire detailed address, but at least your city, state, and zip code, just so that the hiring manager will know that you are in commutable distance from the opportunity. When it comes to your email address, you want to make sure that you use a professional email and that you check it regularly. So let's see some contact header do's versus don'ts. So as we could see along the left-hand column, all of these different contact headers include the required information. And now let's see what the issues are in the don'ts column. Here we have Jessica Evans, who has listed her different contact info in two different columns. And so that can be an issue because application tracking systems can really have an interference when trying to read text left to right when you're using multiple columns. Also, some of the text in Jessica's contact header is very small, as we can see in the circle. With Scotty Scorpion's contact header, at first glance, it looks pretty well put together. However, his email address is unprofessional. And then with Mary Butler's contact header, Mary is using far too much resume real estate with her contact header. So if we imagine we're trying to keep our resume at one page, this is about 8 lines of text that has been taking up just with her contact header. So you want to be sure that you're consolidating your contact header to no more than 3 lines. And of course, she is labeling the different items in her contact header when it's not needed. Quick tip number 4, include accurate education information. So as you list your education section, it should include the name of the institution. You also want to fully spell out your education. So the degree that you are getting, you want to make sure that you're refraining from using any acronyms. So Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice, Bachelor of Science in Biology, and in the case of education majors, Bachelor of Arts in Secondary Education or Early Childhood Education. Also, be sure to list the month and year of graduation. And if it's in the future, put expected, just so that it is clear that you are working towards this graduation date. Now, in the case of GPA, that is optional. However, if you choose to list your GPA, it should be 3.5 or higher. Now let's look at some do's and don'ts for education section. So here we have pictured 2 education sections that are following all the guidelines. Even as we can see, the top education section does include a GPA, but it does meet the criteria of being 3.5 or higher. Now there are various issues with this education section, and oh look, it even has the old Nevada State College, so that's something to keep in mind too. Any of you all that may have developed your resume section previous, your resume and your education section previous to the name change, you want to make sure that you're updating that to Nevada State University. Also, this education section is missing city and state. BS is being used for an acronym of Bachelor in Science, so that's an issue. And May 2019 for the CSN education should be lining up with the May 2023, just to make sure that everything is uniformed and consistent. And last but not least, it should be associate rather than associates. Quick tip number 5, highlight most relevant experiences. So it's important that as you are developing your resume, you want to only include experiences that are relevant to that opportunity. And there are a variety of different experiences that you can include. Could be work experience, internship, leadership, volunteering, etc. But regardless of whatever experience sections you include, quick tip number 6 is all about making sure you're including sufficient information. So no matter the type of experience section, it should include your title within the experience, the company or organization name, the city and state it's located, and the date of experiences start to end. And then right below it, you want to list your responsibilities using bullet points. And so each bullet point should start with an action verb, and you want to be aware of your tense usage. So if you are describing an experience that you are currently in, then all of your different terminology should be present tense, including your verb. And vice versa, if you are talking about experience from the past, then you should be using past tense verb and usage. You also want to vary your verb choice throughout your different sections and bullet points just to make sure that you are varying things for the reader so that they do not become bored with your different sections. Here we see pictured an experience section example. So in this case, we have a student teaching experience example for you education students out there. And so as we can see, this is following all of the different experience section requirements. The school is listed, the city and state that it happened at. So this is the organization, would be the school that you list. And then you have your title, so that's student teacher, the month year end, beginning and month year end of the particular experience. And then there are 5 bullet points, which are provided for the top experience section and 4 for the bottom. So we're following all the different guidelines, even including the recommendation of 2 to 5 bullet points per experience. Quick tip number 7, use strong bullet points. And so it is very important to consider that bullet points are the meat and potatoes of your resume. It is where you're able to articulate the impact that you've had throughout your experiences. So when you're developing your bullet points, you want to ask questions such as what kind, how, when, and for whom. And when you are thinking about this, now you want to take those answers and then put them into this equation. So add a verb at the beginning, describe the skills and accomplishments, and then context. Think of it like providing a snapshot that will come to life for the reader. So it's important that as much as possible, in a succinct way, you are highlighting benefits, results, outcomes, the why of your different actions. So let's look at some examples of developing your bullet points. So a before can be planned activities. And this is where you're just brainstorming what to put down for this bullet point. But then after pondering the different questions of for whom, why, and the benefit, then the after can be something along the lines of planned and taught a weekly exercise program to 30 physically challenged children. So you see in the after version, you are identifying the frequency of how often you are doing the exercise program. You're identifying the type of planned activities because we see that it's an exercise program. We're also able to see the quantity of kids that you're able to work with at any given time and the specific population. So this is going to be a lot more appealing to a hiring manager rather than just seeing planned activities. So here we have another example. In the before, it says assess data. But after pondering those qualifying questions of the why and what for, now we have analyzed student outcome data monthly and used findings to refine curricular and instructional practice. So you see here, we have noted the frequency. We see what type of data is being assessed and for what, in order to refine curricular and instructional practice. Quick tip number 8, include a skills section. Now, keep in mind, a skills section is not at all required on a resume. However, it is a nice cherry on top element that you can include just to kind of, in a snapshot, highlight your different technical hard skills. And so it's important that you're only including those sorts of skills in your skills section. You want to refrain from any sort of qualitative skills, as those should be exemplified within your bullet points of your responsibilities. So some of the hard skills you can include are computer skills, such as different databases or softwares you're familiar with, language proficiencies, and certifications. Quick tip number 9, tailor your resume. This is one of the most important tips that I will talk about today. It is very important that you develop a general kind of master resume that includes all of your experiences and accolades. And then as you are applying to a particular opportunity, you consider the job posting or the opportunity posting. And what are the different responsibilities and qualifications required? And then from there, you revise that general resume to tailor it towards this opportunity. So you want to make sure that you are bringing forward and highlighting your most relevant experiences for each of the different opportunities you apply for. Also, keep in mind, application tracking systems are used by a lot of different organizations, even Nevada State. And so, with that said, that is an AI software that is sifting through text on a resume to verify your minimum qualifications, experiences that are relevant, etc. So with that said, it's helpful if you use keywords from the job posting in your resume, as long as it's accurate and relevant, so that you're able to show that you have overlapping experience. Also, be sure to avoid abbreviations, usage of tables, text boxes, and headers and footers, because that also can be an obstacle for application tracking systems. So in this ATS output example, on the left-hand side, we see a job posting, and on the right-hand side, we see a resume. And essentially, this ATS is showing in the yellow highlights overlapping relevant keywords that are being picked up as far as minimum preferred qualifications and different responsibilities and experiences that are required. So this is what you should have in mind as you're tailoring your resume. Quick tip number 10, let's review some key don'ts. You want to avoid grammar and spelling errors. Avoid clutter or non-essential information on your resume. This means that you want to avoid submitting a 3-page resume that is just a blanket resume of all your experiences with no consideration of the particular opportunity. In doing that, you're providing a lot of non-essential information, and it will come across to the reader. Also avoid using pronouns. Just like in an academic paper, pronouns is not best practice. And don't use an objective statement. So in previous years, there would be an objective statement used on the top of the resume, but that is no longer needed. Also, refrain from including your references in your resume. Your references should be a specifically different, separate document. And don't use soft skills in your skills section. As we mentioned, the skills section should be hard skills only, such as software, technical, language certifications. And try not to go over 1 page. As far as ATS systems go, application tracking systems will have issue with headers and footers, tables, and abbreviations, so you want to refrain from usage of those. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And for any sort of clarification on any of the information shared today, feel free to visit our website to schedule an appointment and/or come by RSC 128. Thank you.